Hello lovely yoga students, and welcome back after the half term. This week we are going to be working with the dragon. So the dragon is the only mythical creature that I've included in this course. We recently had a earthquake here, and I like to think of that as the dragons moving in their sleep. I mean, here obviously it's only a very slight thing, so it doesn't affect us in the same way that it does in places where they have big earthquakes. Anyway, we're going to be working today with the dragon's breath, which is a bit like the lion's breath, only slightly different. So I'll be demonstrating that with you. And we're also going to be working quite slowly, but with a bit of power. So that doesn't mean that it's going to be strong or really difficult, but it just means that we're working with the power of the dragons, and the breath is with the fire breath of the dragons. And we're going to be working at points anyway, really quite slowly, and staying in the postures for some time. I'm going to recommend that you have a block with you to use. I haven't got one in here, so today I'm using a big book, so that's fine to use a big heavy book. That can really help. Okay, so get yourself prepared with a mat, some loose clothing, a block or a book, and meet me on the mat. So we're going to start sitting in cross-legged today, so come to a nice comfortable place here, and we're going to begin as we always do by closing the eyes or lowering the gaze, coming into the moment, finding your gentle natural breath moving in and out through the nose. So just relaxing, landing, arriving in your comfortable seated position, breathing gently in and out through the nose. Wonderful. So we're just going to imagine ourselves as a great big dragon. So the dragons are what some people considered were like the dinosaurs. So these very, very large and at points quite slow animals. They could fly, some of them could fly, of course. So we're going to be working with the wings. So let's just begin by bringing the arms out. We're going to very slowly take the arms up and overhead, imagining that these are huge wings. And of course the dragons didn't have feathery wings. They had these like bat-like wings. So, or they have, if you believe in dragons, which some people do. So raising the arms up, really stretching the fingers out, imagining these as your wings opening wide, and then down. Now I'm going to move myself forward because I'm going to demonstrate, as we do this with the arms, I'm going to demonstrate to you now the dragon's breath. So the dragon's breath is, as I said, it's like the lion's breath, but with a bit more, but slightly different, with a lot of power. So when you do the dragon's breath, what you do is you breathe in through the nose, and then as you exhale, you breathe out really sharply and firmly through the mouth, with the mouth wide open and the tongue kind of protruding out from the mouth, and the eyes wide open. So you imagine that you are breathing fire as you do this. So I'm going to demonstrate it for you, and then you can join in with me. We're going to do it 3 times. So I'm going to do it 4 times so you can see it for the first time. Then after the first time, join in with me. So we're going to imagine these big wings rising up as we breathe in. Beautiful. So just imagining we're going to be working with that over the a little bit over the practice. So just imagining that you're breathing fire as you do that breath. Lovely. So I'm going to invite you now to come and lie down on the floor, and on the mat rather, and we're going to do a couple of things on the floor, not much. So we're just going to begin coming down into semi-supine, arms out along the mat, and just feeling yourself gently dropping into the mat, just landing on the mat like this. Beautiful. So I'm going to invite you to take your feet out to sort of mat width apart, and then gently drop your feet down, or roll on the feet, drop your knees down to whichever side feels good for you at the moment. Bring the arms out to, I can't do it this side, but arms out to shoulder height, and I'm going to invite you that you can either stay here if this feels like it's quite a pull here on this leg, just stay with it there, but if you want a bit more you can lift this foot, so the one that's turned out, you can lift that foot and gently just prop it onto that knee and then just relax down. So this is quite a strong pull along here, for me it is anyway, because my bottom knee doesn't touch the ground. So if this feels too much, then just go back to how we were before, and we're just going to be here just for a breath or two. Might feel quite intense, just being with what is. Lovely. So then we're just going to drop that foot back down, come back up to the centre and go over to the other side. So the feet are quite wide so that when you come down your knees are quite far apart. So as I say, if this feels enough of a pull here, then stay there. Otherwise, lift that opposite knee up and just gently, well, we're trying to just relax into this pose, breathing here, a couple of breaths. Now in the class we're going to take longer in this pose on both sides. So if you're not coming to class, you want to spend a bit longer in it, pause the video and just maybe do 5 or 6 long breaths on each side. Beautiful. So now we're just going to bring the feet together, take one leg over the other as if you're sitting in a chair, rolling over. So it's a bit the same, but it's different. Rolling all the way over, coming down into a supine twist and looking over the opposite arm. And again, if you want to spend longer here, then just pause the video, take longer, but I haven't got all that much time here, so it's feeling like a little bit rushed, but anyway, so just really enjoying as long as you can in this semi-supine spinal twist. Beautiful. So we're going to roll all the way over now and come up to all fours. We're going to do some of our cat and cow, but we're going to do it really slowly. So just coming into a place that feels comfortable, padding the knees if you need to, looking down between the thumbs, tops of the feet on the ground. So you're nice and square here. We're going to breathe in, looking forward gently and taking the spine to the ground. And we're going to actually stay here, take a couple of breaths here in this pose. Beautiful. And then exhale, imagine yourself lifting your wings up to the sky as far as you can. So we're stretching the spine right up to the sky. Couple of breaths there. And then we're going to come and just do it with the breath a couple of times. So inhaling, spine to the floor. Exhaling, looking between the knees, spine to the ceiling. Wonderful. Okay, so if you want to take longer in this pose, then do so. But we're going to now just do a little bit of a balance. So we're going to take the back foot out behind, so it's touching the ground, but then take it out away from you, so it's out diagonally. And then see if you can lift that foot there. So it's quite an interesting pose here. You've got a lot of weight. Well, this foot is taking a lot of weight, but you're having to sort of move over this way because of the way that the foot is. So what we're going to do then is to take the other hand, the opposite hand, out in the opposite diagonal. So we're sort of stretching out, making ourselves into a great big dragon here. Beautiful. So then bring those limbs back in, and we're going to work on the other side. So take that foot out to the back first, so the toes are touching, and then take it, oh, I'm on my book, take it out diagonally to the side, and then lift it up, and you'll feel how your body has to move over to the opposite side to, and this hand is taking a lot of weight now, so we can lift this one up. That's it, and a couple of breaths there. Beautiful, and then bring those limbs together. Lovely. So we're going to do a little bit of working with the hands in a shape like this now. I saw some pictures of dragons as I was doing my research for this, and quite a few of them seem to have feet like this, front feet like this. So we're going to come forward like this, and what we're going to do is we're just going to do a couple of little press ups like this. So we're kind of going down, taking the face to the ground, and then lifting up, coming up as straight as your arms can come. So this is a real stretch for the wrists. Exhaling down, inhaling up. Lovely. So then what we're going to do is we're going to walk round, so keeping the knees in the same place, walk the hands all the way around, so they're pointing inwards like this. You can't see them, but anyway, and this is a side bend. We did this last time when we were working with the snake. So a little side bend here, breathing, trying to keep the hips over the knees if you can. I had to move mine back there. I'd realised that I'd moved them. And then we're just going to walk all the way around the other side, so I might have to move over a bit, to come into this side bend this way, trying to make sure that you've got hips over the knees, breathing here. Wonderful. And then coming back to the middle. Lovely. And then let's just come up and give the wrists a little bit of a workout after that, a bit of a massage maybe. Okay, so we're going to now come into the dragon pose, and then working with the lizard. So you may need your block or your book at this point, so have it somewhere close to you. So we're going to start by bringing the left foot forward. If you need to pad under that knee, I think it would be good for me to do that. In fact, I think it's really good to look after your knees. So bringing this foot as far forward as you can, so that you know, this is something, but it's not what we're looking for. We're not after this shape here. We want to really open up here and under here, so we want to have the foot ahead of us a little bit. I mean, if that's too much, you can bring it back a bit, but just trying to have it so that you've got your ankle under your knee, and your ankle under your knee, that's it, yeah. So then we're going to just come forward, both hands on the mat in front of you, and we're just going to just see if we can just relax into this pose. So this is almost like a bit of yin yoga here. You can take that back foot down, and just seeing if you can just breathe. So exhaling, just allowing yourselves to drop, feeling the feelings that come up, being with the feelings, trying to relax. If it's hurting, back off. But if it's just a sensation of stretching or crunching, just trying to be with that and experience the feelings. Beautiful. So we're going to come down into the lizard, which of course, you know, in a way the dragon is a lizard with wings, and a very big lizard. So just bringing the hands inside, so they're both inside of this foot, and hands down, and we can just bend the elbows a little bit, and if that feels like it's enough for you, or even with hands straight, just staying there, trying to just breathe with it, dropping the weight of the head down, which can really help to open up those muscles. Now if you want a bit more than this, you can get your block or your book, bring it in front of you and see if you can drop down onto one elbow. Now it might be that you're really flexible, much more flexible than me, that I know quite a lot of my students are, and that actually coming down onto the elbow would work for you. For me it's a bit too much, so it's actually better for me to be here. So this is quite intense. By the way, you can turn this opposite foot out if you want to open, that opens the hip a bit and gives you a bit more room. So again, here, a couple of breaths. In the class we'll be probably doing 5 or 6 breaths, so just if you want to do that, then stopping the video and taking the time to do that. But we're going to come back, swap over legs. So again, swapping your pad if you need it, getting the block on the other side, stepping forward with the other leg, so you'll probably be able to see more of what I'm doing on this side now. So to begin with, hands one side of that foot, top of that back foot down, and just trying to drop. So letting the exhale just drop you down. So this is dragon pose. So it's really good in this place to kind of think about dropping into the dragon. Beautiful. So again, we're going to spend longer in the actual class itself, but today we're just coming in with both hands inside of this foot now, so you've got this knee out. If this is really uncomfortable for you, just go back to here. Just make sure that you are as comfortable as you can be, and then from here just breathing and dropping. And you can bend the elbows if that feels good, or come down onto the elbows onto the mat or onto your block, and turning this foot out if that helps, and breathing here. So we'll just take a couple of breaths. Beautiful. Wonderful. So we're going to move into doing a little bit of our dragon breath now, but we're going to do it with some movement. So we're going to come forward again. I'm going to work with my left foot again first so that you can see what I'm doing. So coming back into the dragon, okay, and from here we're going to oh no, actually I should work the other one first, sorry about that, so that you can see what I'm doing. So I'm going to do this foot first, and we're going to bring opposite hand down, and the other hand is going to come up. So we're coming into a twisty lunge. What we're going to do is we're going to inhale, and if you want to, raise that back knee, and then exhale dragon breath. So once more, looking up, and then drop down, and we can come back into a child's pose, so just dropping down. And it's really good to take a good sigh out here. So breathing in, just releasing anything that feels like it needs to come. So we're going to work on the other side now. So bringing the other foot forward. So opposite hand to knee, tucking the back toes, and then raising that arm. So you might just decide to stay here and do the dragon's breath from here, or you might want to lift the back leg, knee, inhaling, beautiful, coming back down. So having a rest down into your child's pose, nice sigh out. And if you want to, stopping the video, coming back and doing it again, which is a really lovely thing to do. So then from there we're going to come up into a dog. So spreading the fingers, tucking the toes, lifting the hips, coming up into a dog. And we can just take a couple of little stretches in the hamstring, and then we're going to come forward into the plank. So imagining ourselves as a great big dragon flying through the air, wings flying. Do that breath again here. Beautiful. Okay, so we're just going to do a little bit more in dragon now, but we're going to be coming up a little bit, so I'm actually going to have to slightly adjust my screen so that you won't be able to see quite so much of my feet, but hopefully you'll be able to get the sense of what I'm doing. So what we're going to do, coming back onto the first side again in the dragon, but this time we're going to take the arms and we're going to rise up. So if this is too difficult to do that with, then do it with the hands first and then bring the arms up. So we're going to breathe in and lifting the arms up and over the head, and then as we exhale, dragon's breath, taking the arms all the way up behind you, raising up on an inhale, last time, raising up, beautiful. So dropping the hands, dropping the knee, come back, rest back in child's pose for a moment, couple of breaths there before you step forward with the other leg. So same thing, tucking the back toe, either coming back on the hands or raising up, just raising up. So we're not in a warrior one position like this, we're in a lunge, with high lunge with the heel upwards. So inhaling, arms up, inhaling, arms up, last time, beautiful. So coming back down, so there we are, that's the basic dragon practice that we're going to do. I didn't include all of the poses, but most of them were in there. And then of course you've got crow to practice at the end if you would like to. Do be careful. I've found recently it's just a bit too much on my wrists, so I haven't really been doing it so much. Really listening to the body is so important. And then make sure that you come down and take a little moment in Shavasana. Make sure you're there for at least a couple of minutes. 4 or 5 is better, really. And lovely, so thank you very much. I might see some of you on Wednesday, and it's a beautiful Sunday. The sun is shining and it's wonderful, so have a beautiful day. Bye.